put on the wig.
Live from New York, it's Ask These Engineers.
Hey everybody, you get double the engineer. Today we've got an exciting show for you, and I gotta get right into this because there's so much going on. It's been a jam-packed week. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, and we've got Pimaroni here. You know them, you love them. They designed this amazing logo, but they also have their own amazing logo, and they've got some really, really cool pre-release hardware stuff that you have never seen, never. And they have it here. I'm going to show it to you.
The show. We're going to talk about Pimaroni. We're going to talk about their latest Kickstarter that we're backers of. So,
yep. What time is it? It's Pimaroni time.
Yeah.
All right, let's have what's on tonight's show because we got to get right into this.
On tonight's show, the code is Welcome Pimaroni because I used Pimaroni as a code in the past, and there are some customers that will use the same code, and we don't have using the same code twice.
You can't do it, yeah.
So I'm just like, let me make sure because you have Pimaroni has a fan base, so I don't want to disappoint
we don't want to. They'll use codes too.
Pimaroni, and it's 10% off in the Adafruit store. Everything except for Adabox,
gift certificates,
and Code Academy,
Code
CircuitPython course. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects, have a packed house. So we'll talk about that. Some Make Code, a Make Code Minute from John Park. We have some Python on hardware news, lots of stuff this week. Time travel, help wanted from the Adafruit Jobs Board. 3D printing, now Pedro, a couple cool videos and more. Some Made in New York City factory footage. Got a bunch of new products. We'll answer your questions. We do that on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord, where there is now 12,000 of us.
Yes. Join us.
We have a little bit of top secret. We'll do a trivia question, give some away. All that and more on, you guessed it.
Dun dun dun.
Ask an Engineer.
Ask Engineers.
Okay, well,
yes.
Let's take care of some biz, and
biz time.
Then we'll do a recap of a couple things, and then we'll start talking to Paul.
Okay.
About Pimaroni stuff. Okay. When you order stuff in our store, you get free stuff. What do they get?
You do. $99 or more, you get a free half-size Perma Proto. These are great for taking your solderless breadboard projects and making them permanent by soldering them onto our beautiful PCB with gold-plated pads. $149 or more, you'll get a free sew or iron on badge. We have these woven badges, all sorts of designs from laser cut to Bitcoin to LEDs to robotics. We have a whole different batch of them almost every week, and if you make an account, we'll get you a different badge each time. So if you order a lot, make sure you make an account so you'll get a different one. $199 or more, you'll get free UPS ground shipping in the continental United States. If you're in the lower 48 and you want to get free shipping, just order $200 or so, and you'll get trackable insured shipping. $299 or more, you'll get a free Circuit Playground Express, our premier all-in-one development board for learning how to code, whether it's using Code Academy or code.org, CS Discoveries, Arduino, CircuitPython, or MakeCode, or TeenyGo. They now have Golang support for this chip, or MakerBlocks, kind of everything you'd want to build with this. You've got LEDs and buttons and sensors and alligator clips, so it's great for building a project or learning how to build projects.
Okie dokie. For shipping in the U.S., we suggest UPS Ground. Gets there, it's trackable. If you have a little bit of time on your hands, Postal is next best option. And then DHL for international. Since you're also someone who runs a company kind of like Adafruit, do you have a favorite shipping option?
Yes, what's your favorite
when people order from Pimaroni?
It's very local, but UPS or DPD. But there'll always be one person who has a bad delivery driver locally, and it'll be a random toss-up. So some hate UPS, some hate DPD.
Yeah.
Mostly they love them.
Okay. What's DPD stand for?
Deutsche Parcel Distribution.
Oh, so it's a DHL kind of.
Yeah, they're part of Deutsche Post.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. And in the U.S. for a while there was some locations that the postal rate of it getting there was so low.
Yep.
That we just said, we have to just do UPS instead of postal. But they got better.
Yeah. But then some places UPS rates just kind of go like that in the States, right?
It really depends. So we added back most of the places. And there was this, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when they were just finding, treasure troves of mail that never made it. And you'd see it on the news.
They dredged the local pond.
And it was like in the UK where they're just by the way, we found 10 years of mail.
For 26 years, he's just been dumping it in his back room. Right?
Yeah.
So this is not just a US thing. It's
also a British thing.
It's a human thing. It's what it is.
Okay.
And then in New York City, check out before 11 a.m. We have same-day delivery.
Nice.
Lady Ada.
Yes.
Show and tell folks we're on.
I'll go real fast through it.
Yeah, just do the
upshot.
High level overview.
High level.
The elevator pitch. as they say.
Colin Cunningham, who, as you know, loves keyboards, is learning KeyCAD, and he's making a keyboard in KeyCAD using Itsy Bitsy, and he etched it with his other mill. Check out the video to see this beautiful keyboard and these lovely keycaps, including his knurled keycap remover. Phil B has been working on, with me, a bunch of DMA updates for video playback on the Pi portal. So we're trying to make it so you can actually play like full motion video with audio on our Arduino boards, and we're getting close. We got DMA action with the SD card, and you can watch, we have Big Buck Bunny playing at 320 by 240 off the SD card, and that's working pretty nice. So we're gonna do audio next. JP is going to be doing tomorrow's MakeCode arcade video is gonna be about Sparky. You can make a Sparky shooter game where you shoot ESD charges at chips. The support chips. I actually feel bad for the chips at this game. And also learn how to do motion and customize your games, like how many enemies to have on the screen, and then how often they get to shoot a lightning bolt. So it's kind of building a whole game from start to end. Non Pedro showed off their 3D printed Pi badge case. We also have a video and a guide. We'll show that. Scott is released CircuitPython 4.0.0 release candidate 3, which we hope is the last release candidate before 4.0 release final. So if you have any kind of CircuitPython hardware and you're working on a project, if you could try out 4.0 release candidate 3 on your project and let us know if you find any bugs or if it crashes. We want to get all those bugs neatened up and then get this 4.0 release out. We've been working on this release for almost a year, and so we're excited.
Also, on circuitpython.org/downloads, we have over 60 boards, and there's more boards that just got added in this build. And all of those have internationalization, so there's
like 5,000 builds. So there's actually so many builds, I think we ran out of GitHub API like tokens. We had to, I don't know how we deal with it, but
we did.
We have
and
to
so
ask for more.
So go to the page, and some of the boards you may already have support it.
Yeah, just click on the image.
And then we're adding more all the time.
And if you have a board that runs one of the chipsets is supported by CircuitPython, get your pull request in, and we'll automatically build all those targets for you. Wouldn't that be nice? From Mike B, he did a guide on using the microbit Cricut with MicroPython. So we don't run CircuitPython on the microbit. Instead, we use MicroPython. So we ported our library over, and he shows how to use that with Moo. So if you would like to do robotics with the microbit and the Cricut, you can do that now. You need a little compact library that you can run. Lucian came by. He made this really wonderful Spud writer, if people remember that. That was a cool e-ink authoring tool. He apparently doesn't get up in the morning sometimes, and so he made an alarm clock with 3 NRF 24L01 nodes, the 2.4 gigahertz radio nodes, and the alarm clock is on his ceiling, and the alarm clock goes off and it's really loud, and it doesn't turn off until he gets up, leaves the room, and then goes to the bathroom. Like he has to actually get into
and if you go back into the room, the alarm
goes back on, so he can't get back into bed. He's going to actually eventually add like a pressure sensor, maybe, so he can't get back into bed.
Yeah.
I mean, he hates it, but he loves it, but he's also on time, so I don't know.
It's pretty masochistic. It's great.
Look, he has to get up. It's horrible. He said, I hate it, it's horrible,
well,
but
I
it's
think
working.
about all the times where it's just like, I absolutely have to get up, and I'll set multiple alarms, and I'll put one.
No, you have one, and it's
and
far.
I'll put one further away, because I've never had it happen where, like, the power went out, or who knows, but I would get paranoid. So I can imagine if you have a hard time waking up, you might need that every day.
I know. Well, he's got it. Yeah. For Aiden, we haven't seen him in a bit but he's been in high school, but high school is over, and now he's back making robots. We made a moving robot cube, and he's going to make a swarm bot this summer. All sorts of little mini bots that are Wi-Fi controlled with colored cubes, and then use a Pixie Cam to maybe like locate their location. I don't know. It's going to be something neat. And then Adam is at Ohio University. He's setting up a tunneling electron microscope with a 5-axis stage, which is really neat. And he is struggling with a Windows NT build because this is a really old microscope, and it needs like NT or 2000. And I didn't even want to ask if the computer operating system was older than him, because I think it is.
If you're thinking of asking, you already know the answer.
I know. I don't. And he's got all sorts of SCSI and ISA card issues, but I think he'll figure it out, and he'll make it through the struggle to get the electron microscope up and running. And that was show and tell.
All participants on the show and tell get now seen on the show and tell sticker. If you're a kid, just have parent, guardian type entity email us. As part of our Adafruit live series of shows, we did another live show today. So we did.
This is
this
like a live
three.
show number 8.
Yeah. So what we did is Crowd Supply is now on Discord with Adafruit. So there is a channel called Pound Crowd Supply, and we talked to Josh, the co-founder.
Josh Lifton.
And we've been fans of theirs for a really long time.
They've been around since, he said, 2012.
Yeah.
Is when they first founded.
And it's one of the best places. It's different than Indiegogo or Kickstarter. This is like curated, pre-qualified. Like,
Vetted.
this stuff is going to ship.
They take it from pre-vetting all the way to shipping, then they do the shipping afterwards.
Yeah.
They kind of take care of everything, and they've had so far. Everything that we've backed has had 100% ship rate.
Yeah, and for us, like there's Kickstarters, like the Primaroni one, we're gonna talk about and cover and everything. Y'all ship stuff, but we do get approached a lot of times by people with Kickstarters, and we're like, we really can't get involved.
We can't
And
solve that problem.
Same thing with
Yeah.
like Indiegogo, which is like that isn't even possible in this universe.
Yeah.
So with Crowd Supply in particular, they definitely have because like Bunny's
Bunny's
on the
right.
board, so it's like the first. What they're I think best known for is like the first open source laptop. that
Yeah, the
went through
Navina
Crowd
and the
Supply.
Tomu,
Yeah,
Yep.
and they
so
do
it's
the
like really
fulfillment.
cutting
Yeah.
edge, like Linuxy, like really like amazing electronics.
Yeah.
That's like like if it's a chip that's coming out, sometimes it might be on Crowd Supply.
And I think they have a lot of incentive to make sure that it works out, because the way, from what he was saying, the way they actually fund the whole thing is the crowdfunding, they don't make money off. It's actually not enough. What they make money off of is after the crowdfunding is complete, then they sell the product. And
Okay.
so then they actually get like the margins for selling the product, not just like the crowdfunding, 5% or whatever.
Yeah.
So he said that's actually what's working out for them the most.
And one of the reasons that, so we've known them for a long time. We keep like, oh yeah, we should do something together. And like, months, years go by. But what we did was when we were corresponding, because there's an event coming up called Tear Down.
Tear Down.
And I think Scott from
Portland,
the
yeah.
CircuitPython team is going to be there.
Is it?
It's in Portland.
No,
Yeah.
Portland.
Portland, yeah.
Portland.
No,
What are
not
you talking-
Poland.
Portland.
Portland.
Different
Portland.
accent.
Portland.
Okay, I was like, no,
Yeah, it's
is it
Portland, Oregon.
Poland.
And so, not yet, but they
Not
might,
yet,
they might
but
go
they
global.
could. I know.
So anyways, we were talking about what could we do together. And we're like, oh, we should get a Discord channel, and then do this little interview. But one of the reasons is because I get their newsletter, and a lot of the new hardware now supports CircuitPython. We have no idea. We didn't talk to the makers. They're just like, oh, like here's a USB hub. Let's toss CircuitPython
Python in
there.
it. Yeah, why not?
Anything with Linux, we have Blinka, and getting device drivers to work with Linux is tough. So we've been doing that. So, anyways, folks can watch the show. It's on YouTube right now. We interviewed them. We hope to have them back. And if you're someone who's thinking about creating hardware, sharing hardware, check out Crowd Supply. And then we have a channel in Discord.
Cool stuff for sale, and then you can
see how long
also
it
design
goes.
stuff to sell there.
Okay.
All right, but now to the meat of the matter.
Yeah. Hello. How's it going, Mo?
Hello.
All right. So let's do the first thing. Because like there's some people maybe they haven't heard of Primaroni. Sometimes
I don't know how they would know.
people haven't heard of Adafruit. I think I remember what this stands for.
Okay. Take a swing.
It's Pirate Monkey Robot Ninja.
Perfect.
Yes,
But it also sounds really good. Like
Primaroni.
Yeah.
And then this is one of the icons and logos that.
It's a happy
Yeah.
pirate.
Yeah.
Happy toothy pirate.
Does this pirate have a name?
No, it's low-key me because I've got the teeth now. I've got
Oh,
the
yeah.
titanium teeth there.
Oh, they
that's
look
nice.
great. Ooh, that's nice.
And just, the headgear and all that.
Okay. Yeah, that is,
occasionally I
that is
kind of-
good. Yeah, I can
with
see
the
the
beard,
similarity. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Primaroni, what you do, where you're at.
Okay, so we started at the same time as the Raspberry Pi off the back of it. There were cases around for the Raspberry Pi that rattled, so we kind of designed one ourselves eventually after saying somebody should fix this. One of them was yours, but
Yeah. Whatever.
But thank you for creating us in that way.
That's fine.
And off the back of that, we did the UK's first Kickstarter, and then we thought, hey, this is doing okay. Should we take money out of the business, or should we buy a pick-a-place machine? And it was like, well, Adafruit got a pick-a-place machine.
Yeah,
That's a
how
good idea.
bad can it be?
Yeah.
They're doing it.
And then, so we've successfully kind of done pretty circuit boards, and then what would Adafruit do?
Yeah.
And now we're 38 people in the
And
UK.
you have
Okay.
laser cutters, and you have so
Like
your
laser
thing. You do a
cutters.
lot of laser cutters, but you also are now doing assembly.
Yeah. Now we've got a Europlacer line, so we've got
Okay.
like a good assembly line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's a website, and you have our stuff. If you're okay disclosing this, we don't mind. How is the Adafruit stuff doing in your store?
Pretty well. I mean, it's up on the top of the menu now, the
does okay.
feathers, among
Okay,
other
good.
stuff.
So it's almost like a ranking, like you put the stuff where people want to.
Yep.
Okay.
first tier stuff.
Gotcha.
And we sell
Yeah.
almost all the Pimoroni stuff as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of cross love there.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
It's good.
And
Good stuff.
as far as like, what type of folks are, or what type of things folks are buying, that's Adafruit in the Pimoroni site. What's one of the popular?
I'd have to look at the analytics. Always featherboards,
Featherboard.
Circuit
Yeah, that makes
Python.
sense.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, that's good.
All right, that's what we're here for.
Okay.
yeah, and the long tail of breakouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tons.
So this is the website. Go to pimoroni.com, and you're here. It's kind of nice timing. You're here to show a few things
Yep.
Yes.
today.
And everyone's excited, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I want to see this stuff.
I thought I would start off with you launched a Kickstarter,
Yep.
Like yesterday.
and I took a screenshot.
Good timing, that.
You already hit your funding goal.
Yep. 7 hours, 10 minutes.
Okay, who's counting though?
Okay, so when I screenshotted this, you were up to like 72K. It's probably past that now.
Yeah.
And instead of asking you about this, why don't I play this video? Because this video is supposed to explain it very fast, a minute and 14 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we can dive in, because then the audience will see, like,
Perfect.
here's what it, because they have, who's the announcer? It was a very nice announcer. It's like,
It was a $5 job.
yeah.
Okay.
We do think it's a little bit kind of telemarketing, kind of buy this on CBS or
But that's actually kind of like,
PBC.
that's fun.
It's okay, yeah.
It was, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, this is super pro.
We thought about kind of getting somebody from Pimoroni to do it who had a very Yorkshire accent to make it feel more local. So you can say that
Yeah.
we're making this, but we thought it might be incomprehensible.
Subtitles.
Well,
Yeah.
I think with Kickstarter, you have to get out of the noise so much. And if it's like a grainy webcam thing and it's like
Yeah.
the professionalism that you put into this, I think
2 minutes
Especially
and clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people who already know you, they're going to get it. So this is about
yeah,
you
you'll
have to
do
reach
live
people who don't
streams
know
and
you.
like
Yeah.
all that. But I thought this was because I think there is the Kickstarter. If it's not a very good video, you kind of get knocked out right away.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah,
Very-
it's a good
it's very
work.
video
Okay,
focused.
so we're gonna play
Okay.
this.
32-Blit is a retro-inspired handheld with open-source firmware. Learn to create your own platformer, adventure game, racer, whatever. It's the modern handheld designed for homebrew hacking. Your pledge includes 24 tutorials. Each month, we'll cover an introductory and advanced topic. It's a step-by-step journey from the basics all the way to finishing your first game. We've created and commissioned a ton of great assets for you to get started with. Use them in your games or as placeholders until you've nailed down your own style. Make your own assets using our set of tools specially designed for 32-Blit. Create sprites, sounds, maps, and music, then easily import them into your projects. 32-Blit is jam-packed with modern hardware, a powerful 32-bit ARM processor, a brilliant IPS screen, analog stick, classic D-pad, built-in speaker, and much more. We can't wait to see what you create with 32-Blit.
Okay.
Okay, but do you have action buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 4
here's
action
some of
buttons.
Here's some of the features. I grabbed this from the Kickstarter.
I'm into the analog joystick, by the way. I think that's key.
Yeah.
They're so much fun.
Not only an analog joystick, but it's a replica replacement part for the Switch.
Is it the Switch joystick? Is it
It's
I squared
basically,
C?
it's not the exact same part, but it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the examples, and folks should check out the Kickstarter, but yeah, platformers, RPGs, raycasters, Mode 7, tools. I think that's a really important part.
Sprites.
You're doing a couple things different with, I think, what gaming is. So you have the tools that you're going to have folks able to use to make games, and then you're doing a session of lessons.
Yep.
So streaming lessons. So how does that work out? Like what are the tools that people can use to program this, and then how will it work with the streaming lessons?
They can do bare metal, so what we've got here is an API going along with the tools to help you code, but it's proper coding, it's kind of C++ and Lua.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond the make code arcade end, so it is for people who do kind of coding a little bit already,
Yeah.
or who are
Yeah.
feeling brave. My friend who's in the games industry, he was like, he loves the Epic Games Store because it's got Unity there, which just kind of throws you into it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It puts a lot of people off, but it makes you create games. And this is easier than that, but still real stuff,
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
development.
So as far as the tools, what what like IDEs will you suggest that they use? Like, what are the things that?
Everyone loves what's the Microsoft one that
VS
everyone likes?
Code.
VS Code,
Okay.
yeah. That's
Yeah, that's a
kind
good
of,
one.
Gotcha.
you're fine
It's
with that.
free. It's amazing.
And then
Yeah.
you're going to do lessons on Lua and C++.
Not so much, no. Not the language essentials, but kind of
Just-
starting beyond that.
With
kind
that,
of,
okay, you
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
go to Code Academy, learn Lua, learn C++.
Yeah,
Okay, so these are the list of things that they're going to be able to learn.
yeah, and we'll see how that works out.
Okay,
But it's kind of introduction and advanced, kind of
Yeah.
one then the other.
gotcha.
I like at the end of the C++, you integrate the Lua scripts. I've actually because I was in the Pi Gamer, I was looking at eLua,
Yep.
you know, which is it's amazing, and it's just like it just kind of works. You can like load it up, and you're like, and then you can call into C++ and back and forth. It's kind of amazing.
Okay, and then saw the prototypes,
Okay.
and then.
But do we have real hardware?
Well, there's a timeline.
There's a
so
timeline, okay.
July 2018, that was the first software test. September 2018, breadboard prototype. November 2018, PCB spin 1. January 2019, PCB spin 2. March 2019, that was just a little bit ago.
That was like
3D
last week.
Printed sample
And
case.
just, you guys have kept this very quiet. Like I didn't know anything about this, so I feel really weird because we're like also doing gaming stuff, and it's like you launched Kickstarter. And I'm like, I did not know this is cool.
I
This
thought
is-
something was going to come up because they were posting photos kind of on Twitter. They're like, this is coming soon.
We were
there was
teasing it.
there was like some, but I was like, I don't know what this is. Is it like somebody they're carrying, or is it like an emulator? I don't know.
So John, the other founder of Pimoroni, he's a coder forever, and
Yeah.
this is his passion project. He wanted something like this.
Okay.
So him and Phil just sat in a room and kind of dragged people in to help with it.
Okay.
And then they emerged and said, "Ta-da!"
Ta-da, we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do a quick demo.
Let's
Okay.
see this.
And
You got this.
Then we have some questions.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
got the overhead, and let me make sure that it's all.
Yeah.
It's focused. Okay,
Everything's
good.
Cool. So this is the kind of alpha beta hardware. I'm okay. I'm moving. Yeah. So the analog stick's not working in this, and all kind of stuff's broken. But
That's
it
cool.
basically-
That's how you know it's like real
Yeah.
hardware. Live demo.
But this is John's part demo of using the API to make a kind of RPG type.
And is this
Side
Lua
scroller.
or C++?
I think this will be Lua,
Yeah.
but I don't know. John knows more.
Yeah, it's got that nice.
I don't know. I'm not a
pixel-
coder.
That's okay. No, I mean I try.
Yeah.
So you got the 4 buttons, and these are look very familiar to me because I think
Yeah.
these are Nintendo DS Lites.
The DS plastic, yeah.
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 They feel great. They're so thin.
Oh yeah, but we found that we're gonna have to tune it really.
You have to tune it.
Yeah.
It's actually we had a couple weeks ago we had on a show and tell we were talking about D-pads,
Mm-hmm.
and then we actually asked like, hey, does anybody in the audience know about D-pads and tuning a lesson for D-pads? Actually, somebody who worked at Steam Valve
Yep.
contacted us and said, yeah, that takes a really long time, and I was like,
They had the gamepad,
yeah,
the Steam pad.
yeah, and they're like, yeah, like it takes months, and I'm like, okay, thanks. I guess now we know. So,
Yeah, we're
so we
bootstrapping
kind
this.
of ditched that. And we went with just the analog stick.
We're just stealing somebody else's for the D-pad and the buttons here,
Yeah.
and the analog stick. But what surrounds it? Because if we trap those membranes just slightly wrong,
Yeah.
we did a slightly off laser cut, and suddenly these were really stiff, and
Yeah.
it's just like that's no good.
Yeah,
We-
but you're
we
going to do
can't ship
injection
that.
molding in the end.
Yep, it's going to
Okay.
have a proper case. So this is just something for this is more or less what the beta testers will get.
Yeah,
We have a tier for people who are willing to tell us what's wrong.
I'm a backer.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, and then tell
Thank
us about
you.
the screen. What's the screen?
So the screen 320 240 IPS, so it's just lovely. It's a good screen.
Okay,
Yeah, what are you
All
going
right.
to
and
say?
this one has capacitive touch, but the final won't. It's just
It won't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's got the things there, but they're not connected up. We did consider touch, but we want to keep it pretty pure and focus on the coding rather than too many bits around to confuse it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
flip it around.
Flip it around,
around.
so where all the good
See the
stuff
lovely-
is.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some questions in the chat. I
Yep.
did link to the Kickstarter page, but the display you just talked about. What about the microcontroller?
Microcontroller. So this is a pretty high-end microcontroller from ST. I forget the exact number, but it's 400 megahertz and can be overclocked to
I
480.
think it's the Cortex M7 because I think the M4 doesn't go. We couldn't clock ours. The M4 is faster than 200 megahertz, and this is 400, which is massive, and it has a built-in TFT driver as well.
Yeah, it's for the price of it, it's a lot of stuff going on.
You get a
in
lot
there.
going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you also have SD card slot, so
Mm-hmm.
you can like have sounds, videos.
Yeah, just play with stuff on that, put stuff on there. But the main
Okay.
storage just got 32 mega flash there.
Okay, so this is a little QSpy type flash. Oh,
Yep.
these are my favorite.
That looks familiar.
They're familiar. No, I do like these. You know, it's funny. It's like I like them, and the ones I get now, they have the sticker on this side too.
Yep.
And then you got the little audio amp. And then you said a sensor accelerometer.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I think it's in this mess here.
It's it's in this mess. And then a lovely
Yeah.
silk screen. And then you got the right angle reset button, which is same
Yep.
stuff. I gotta say, it's really funny when you really start. I'm like, you picked the same hardware I did, which actually means that we're doing a really good job. Because if we
Yeah.
both said this is the right switch, then you know it's the right switch.
We're pretty good at making hardware together, right?
That's right.
We make good decisions.
Yeah, I'll let you do this the Lua. I'm going to stick to the Python.
Yeah.
And so this is the beta hardware, the beta hardware.
Yeah, and it's got
And-
the programming port there. It's got
Okay.
a bootloader, but if you want to ignore that, program it yourself. You can just snap the top off one of the ST-Link boards, the ST dev boards,
Yeah.
which are like $10, and stick it in there and use that to.
And it's
go-
also debug port.
Yeah.
So you can actually, if you want to do C++ and you want to do debugging.
All right.
Yep.
3 questions.
Okay.
Does it
Okay.
run Linux? And will you add a HDMI out? And will it support CircuitPython?
This is kind of below Linux level. You could run some kind of RTOS on there, but it's more bare metal.
Okay.
Bare
I think
metal
it
is
would
key.
be, I think if you had Linux, I think you'd be kind of disappointed
Okay.
because all
And
your
then-
time would be taken up running
Next one
Linux.
is HDMI.
HDMI, same reason, not planning it at all.
Yep. And then CircuitPython.
CircuitPython could be. So the main team aren't going to, so I think it's going to come down to me to try and make it build on there. But you've
Alright.
given us some pointers. And
Yeah, I think Scott. We actually added the STM32. We actually, what's funny is again we actually looked at this chip because we were looking at what's the next chip for us.
Yep.
Because we're like, we did the SAMD21, okay, good, but very low level. SAMD51, nice, middle of the road, but then what's next?
Yep.
And Atmel doesn't actually have a really great next board.
Okay.
They have the SAM70, which is good, but the STM32, I mean, like they
So-
really make great.
every vendor seems to have a little blind spot, don't they, in their range?
There's a little bit, yeah. It's tough because usually at that point they skip right over to a Linux board. Actually,
Yep.
TNC they're going to an NXP chip, which I can't remember, but it's also an interesting chip which has no flash in it. You have to
Okay.
attach an external flash, but it's incredibly fast. It has has built-in graphics and built-in everything.
Because they were one of the first movers for using the ARM chips as a microcontroller.
Yeah.
Kind of getting away from the old AVRs, right?
No, it's like I think we're all moving. We're like, more and more, because like once you get the feeling of it.
Yeah.
But we have teeny USB support for this chip, so the USB stack is there. And one of the things actually Scott, I'm sure, is typing about in the chat. What he really wants for the gaming is he wants video out
Okay.
because he wants to be able to stream the games. So he wants to do
right.
that over USB.
Yeah.
But you have high-speed USB, so it's actually technically kind of possible.
could possibly
It
work.
could possibly work.
What there will be, though, is there will be kind of the emulators in the browser on
Yeah.
the desktop, so it's not quite the same, but
That's another nice
for
thing about
quick
Lua.
development, yeah, it's going to be there, so you don't need the hardware, it's just there is real hardware to deploy the games to, right?
Okay. And is this the final shape, or or you think there's going to be more revisions?
There won't be too many revisions unless there really needs to be
Look
from
at this
here.
gigantic battery. This is going to be chunky.
Yeah. That'll give you 3 to 4 hours, we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The screen is just massive. I mean, that's what you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
The way I
Okay.
see it is there was GBA and then they went DS. And it's what if they didn't? What if they said, well, we'll just make it bigger, better, and
Keep
single
going that
screen?
way.
Yeah.
This is the other leg on the trousers of time.
Okay, and you're going to be at Maker
Leg
Faire
of the trousers of
with this?
time?
Yeah.
You're going to be at Maker Faire this weekend?
Yep.
And then where could people find you?
They just have to find the pirate. I'll be
Okay.
hanging around the DigiKey stall a lot.
Okay.
Because, they're always cool dudes to hang out with.
Good.
They love gaming, so this
Yeah.
is...
Yeah.
And any kind of YouTuber, I'll be there in the background going,
Yeah.
give
Hi.
me your good vibes and how to make good videos.
Okay.
So here's the question. Since you've done, I think, 3 Kickstarters, is this the third one?
Yeah, 3.5. We did one with Gordon and James, the Slice. So this is the 4th one me and John have been heavily involved with.
Okay.
And we've helped out on other ones
You
as
did,
well.
you did Picade?
Picade, Flotilla,
Flotilla.
and this as Pimeroni.
Okay.
The Slice one was me and John,
Yeah.
and Gordon, James, and Mo. And then we've helped out on a couple of others with helping them with laser cutting and filament.
Gotcha. So what is, for the folks out there who are thinking about doing a Kickstarter,
Yep.
what is the best, most important advice that you could give them?
Look them in the eye and just tell them, what have you learned?
Know who your audience is. Have an audience. Like, who is going to back you day one.
Yeah.
If you don't know who's going to back you to your goal on day one and how to get in touch with them, don't launch it.
That's good advice.
Yeah. And that's something you guys have. Your community is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done right by them and they looked after us, so that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. No, it's two-way. It's like you provide them with the quality and the support and the
The
experience that they
joy.
want. And
Yeah.
then, because it is a trust, and Kickstarter is all about trust. It's
Yep.
like, do you trust that they'll be able to provide something that's good. And you've done an excellent job. Every time you've shipped something, it's always been joyful.
Yeah. Picade was a year late. I think Flotilla was slightly less, and hopefully this time we'll be on time.
Okay.
The
November
mythical on
of
time.
this year is the goal.
Yeah, I'll see October, I think we said, and the BT units fairly soon.
Okay.
But as you can see, we're not far off something that people
No,
can
it
test
looks.
with.
Gotcha.
You've got it going on.
All right. Well, the links are there in the various chat rooms, and you can also go to Kickstarter and look up 32 Blit.
Yep.
Check and back them if you want them.
Yep. And you're here for other reasons because you brought some other hardware goodies.
Yeah, so it was a trifecta of STM32 boards.
Yeah. So
Okay,
the
so let's
next
see what-
thing.
This will
I'll
be
skip
launching
ahead.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't see the watch yet.
This
It'll
is
come.
the joystick, and I'm going to go to the overhead so you can show it. Okay.
All right,
Yep.
What's going on here?
This is Picade Player X. This is an STM32 FO4.
Yeah.
So bottom end of the range. And this was my little project to make a new USB controller for Picade to add players 2, 3, and 4. So that's why it's Player X.
Is this kind of like what's it called? This little. Oh, I can't remember the name.
Oh,
There's
you
a-
got the little yellow.
the yellow
chunky-
things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But this is your like better quality version.
Yeah, it's small. It just so happens that the pins there are the same as the Pi hats.
Yeah, I know
mounts.
that. I'm like, that
so you
look-
can
that
like
looks familiar.
stack 4 of them up like that,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and then run the connectors outside.
So you're liking the STM32 series.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it was great. I'm a terrible programmer, terrible engineer.
Yes, so am I, but
I'm
who cares?
such a hacker.
Yeah.
And I got it to make a composite USB device.
Oh,
It
nice.
does serial, it does HID, and then out the other side, it's got the joystick connectors on 0.1 headers, which seem to work really well, and you just stick them in, they stay there. And it's got the plasma header, which does the APA 1 and 2 strings on the buttons. Have you
Yeah.
seen those?
Yes.
Yeah,
Adorable.
RGB buttons. Just
And you just shove the PCB in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You shove it on, it's held in by the spade connectors,
Yeah.
and that works.
Everyone
And-
wants glowy buttons.
Yeah, and they're cheaper than the current RGB buttons,
I
which
know,
have
right?
4 connectors per thing.
Yeah, because you have to, it's RGB.
Whereas this one, you daisy chain them, and it's got 4 APA 102s per button.
Okay, so this is cute. So this is great for, and you can use it with a computer too. You don't need to use it with Picade. So if you want to build your own
Whatever.
desktop,
Desktop,
Emulator?
interactive art project,
You
all good.
also-
slim. I like how slim
In
it is.
addition to the gaming world, you're now doing a watch.
Yeah, so 10 years ago on Hackaday, it was 2009, I was just getting into making,
Yeah.
and there was a really good pocket watch which had lots of LEDs.
Yes,
It
I
looked
remember
amazing.
that one.
Yeah.
And then like near NYC Resistor, they had like a big like watch party. Like everyone was like making watches for a couple months
Yeah.
there.
And there was the whole Tokyo Flash thing.
Yeah.
So I thought Nico had been messing with these tiny RGB dumb LEDs, and they're tiny and good and cheap. And I thought, hey, now's the time to maybe look at revisiting the watch thing.
Yeah.
And so I did an Illustrator file using the footprint and found out that, yes, 60 would fit around the edge of a
Oh
14
no
mil.
way! There's a full 60.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then 24, and then
Yeah.
7x7 grid in the middle for
Okay.
emoji.
Right.
So that's 133. So 399.
And it looks like you
Individual.
That
have
Euro
one-
placer can place them all though.
And you have one
Yeah.
that's plugged in over there, I think.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
off to the side.
So I'm going to plug it in so it shows the test thing. We're going to ignore the one LED that's broken.
No, we don't know about that. That's on purpose.
There you go. So it's going to do all that and then show the time
Yeah,
as
that
4
definitely
o'clock.
has a Tokyo Flash vibe. too.
That's
That's
totally
cool.
Tokyo
Yeah,
Flash. They
that's
love
cool.
they love the rings and then like stuff. And
Yep.
then on the back you also have an STM32.
STM32, it's one of the G low power ones. It doesn't have USB. So the USB is purely for power and debugging or flashing.
Okay.
And
What do
then
you mean for flashing?
for updating the code. So it's got
It's-
debug pins on there.
Oh, the debug pins are exposed on the. Okay.
So you can flash it like that, but it's not USB. It
And this is just
looks
doing
like it.
multiplexing for all 100, 300
Mm-hmm.
total LED elements.
Yeah, so the USB chips didn't have enough pins to do that.
Ah.
Nico switched it for this new part, which is also very good for low power.
Yeah.
And all the components on here, like the PLL programmable oscillator,
Yeah.
they all have really good low power modes.
Yeah.
He then got ambitious and decided to try wireless charging.
All right.
So there he's made.
You just put it. You can get a key charger for your Apple Watch or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And
just
stick
work.
it on that, and it works. It's more than enough current to charge.
And I
an
was asking
iPad.
about where you got that watch from, which I was
Yeah.
fascinated. So you said there's a watch hacking community where people get watches with the same body sizes, and then
Yeah, you look all over eBay and there's a bunch of faces, and they'll say this face is this size, and you think it'll fit in this case. And in this one in particular, the case is an AliExpress special.
yeah,
$27, so not cheap for AliExpress.
no,
And
but it's
supposed
a
to
good
have
quality.
Supposed to have the emerald glass and all that, and then a strip from a department store in Tokyo. big camera, super
Yeah.
place, so shiny, and together they look great. The board is 38 millimeters, and this watch enclosure will take 38 to 40 millimeters. The top of it is kind of beveled like that.
Yeah, and so in this culture, like people say, like, oh, I'm going to get a 38 millimeter face, and then they get the face and they get the watch, and they match them up.
I've got a 1967 Tag Heuer face. I'm going to put it in this case,
Okay.
and yeah.
All right, I'm learning a lot about watches.
All right, and that'll be at Maker Faire as well.
Yeah,
It'll be at
I'll
Maker
be
Faire.
wearing that and showing it off. Cause,
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
you have a watch. Don't why
And
not one?
is that going to be a Kickstarter one day? You know,
I think that'll just be a straight product.
It's a nice product.
Yeah.
I love this. You know, these LEDs are so, because they're in LED walls, they're just like a penny a piece. They're so cheap.
Yeah.
They're incredible. And if you get, and once you get to the, I mean, you know, for a lot of our products, if it's only a couple LEDs, I'll put the APA 2020s on there because
Yep.
it's like, well, you know, it's only one line.
But it doesn't.
But yeah, once you get past 10, it is a little,
Yeah.
even on the
The Unicorn Hat HD, if that had APA 102s on it, it
It'd
would be
be-
like $100. Or
I know,
something.
they do get pricey.
Yeah.
And you have actually more risk of breakage. I think these are a little bit more durable.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to kind of do red and blue versions, and the red one will have like Russian Cyrillic silk on it.
Oh, yeah?
Just to kind of tie into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm
I-
all about the aesthetics.
I don't know why it's Russian, but I'm getting
Oh,
it.
they have big chunky watches.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's a thing.
Okay.
all right. So I think we got through most everything.
Yeah.
And people keep asking questions, and we'll
Yeah,
pop
we're gonna
back.
keep. So lots of good comments. People want to get it. So
Yeah, that watch is nice.
yep,
Yeah.
as well as the Kickstarter. And I was watching the Kickstarter when I went back. It looks like a couple folks were
Yeah.
getting it. It was going up as it did it. Okay, well, we're going to keep going on with the show, and we'll be doing questions and more. But thanks for, as always, coming in with good stuff and making good stuff. It's a
Always good times.
pleasure to stock it in the store.
Yeah.
Okay, can't wait. We'll stock the 32 Blit when it's ready as well.
Okay, all right, let's keep moving.
Okay. Now
JP's show is tomorrow.
And you're like, I want to make video games and stuff, but maybe I want to make it on a web browser while I wait for my 32
Yeah.
Blit to ship. Well, you're in luck.
Well, what I like is there is an entire menagerie of game playing hardware that you can make your own games. It's here.
It's there.
So
It's
there's
amazing.
Game Buino, there's Pi badges, there's 32 Blitz, there's some other stuff that we saw.
Auto Boy.
RG Boy.
RG Boy.
This is a really good time
And
to be doing
it's
stuff.
great because it's like, I think we're not just playing emulators anymore. Now we're moving up to the next level
Yeah.
of like, okay, we're going to make our own games. And I think the Pico 8 idea of like, okay, let's just make it very basic and simple has freed up a lot of people to be like, oh, I can actually make a great game. Because historically, you look at video games, you're like, well, I'm not going to render and like model all these 3D. It's become so hard lately because video games are so incredible.
You just don't start.
You can't even start. You're like,
Yeah.
where do I even start? Like, it's like you need a team of like 150 people. But I think now it's kind of bringing back to like, let's go retro. Let's make it easy.
Oh, before we show the Make Code arcade video that JP did,
Yeah.
there was one question that came in. Will the beta backers get the final plastics once they're ready?
So we've said that there will be basically the cost difference between the retail and the BT unit.
Yeah.
You will pay less than that
Okay.
to upgrade. It maybe we just send it out anyway, but there will be a way to kind of get the final hardware as well.
Okay. All right. On to JP's video.
Take it away.
In Make Code Arcade, I want to talk about creating a tile for a tile mapped level. So the first thing I'll do is have a look at the simulator here. And what you can see is I have this little top-down car driving game. And in here, the intersection is only headed one way across. And I'd like to turn that into a four-way intersection. What we can do is have a look at how these tiles are created. Right now I have this thing that is the tile map. And what this does is it lays out where different tiles, little sprite tiles, are placed on the map. So you'll notice there's a bunch of horizontal lines here made of red. And if I look at the tile maps, here's this red one. That is this horizontal piece of road. So in camera view right now, I have this pink tile. And what I'll do is I'll add that to the tile map by picking the pink brush and laying down 1 pixel. So the intersection now is going to display whatever sprite image appears in the pink index. So looking at this new pink road, it's the same. It's this horizontal. But if I want to make this sort of a four-way intersection, what I can do is just grab a nice big brush. I'll get rid of some of this and some of this. And we'll call that done. So now what it's going to do is going to replace any part in that tile map where I place pink with that four-way intersection. So now you can see in that tile map where I placed the one pink pixel, we get our little four-way intersection. Now that actually isn't currently changing how it worked. It's always going to let me drive there because I have it as walls turned off style. But now the graphic kind of matches what it actually does in the game. And so that is how you can change the sprite for a specific part of your tile map in MakeCode Arcade.
And don't forget JP Show is tomorrow. So
Okay.
next up, we're back this week. We were at the Red Hat Summit last week,
It was in Boston.
and then we
All
did,
open source software.
yeah,
It's
then we did a
amazing.
follow-up video broadcast of our Python hardware news, but this week we're doing it here. Here we go.
Okay, time for Circuit Python.
Okay.
Python on hardware.
First up, speaking of like Raspberry Pi folks and more,
Gaming.
Wireframe is yet another magazine in the Raspberry Pi Foundation publishing empire, and they reviewed and did a feature on the console you can wear as a badge, our Pi badge. So that's in this month's issue, which is available for subscription, or you can download it.
Yep, a lot of people are asking about PyBadge and PyPortal.
Yep.
We're gonna do.
Yep.
We don't have enough yet.
Next up,
Making them
CircuitPython snakes its way to the pages of Make.
and rainbows.
Yeah, so this is an edge-lit LED rainbow project. This is by Mom Projects, and we saw this online a while ago, and now it's in the latest issue of Make that will be hitting
You
subscribers
guys like rainbows? I remember.
boxes
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, the company was founded on rainbows.
It's true.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Rainbows and pirates.
and then also Hackster did a interview with Sophie. Sophie's making the rounds, and check that out. Some stuff about
She's got her book coming
her,
out.
her workflow, some of the things that she's doing, and then also CircuitPython and more. This weekend, Lydia did everyone a favor and got Blinker running on Coral.
That's right. You can use digital I/O, PWMs, I2C, SPI, and UART on the Coral board to all of our hats and breakouts and sensors, and I even got it working with servos and stuff because there's built-in hardware PWMs. Check that out. If you have a Coral board, you can now do AI projects and then attach hardware, because it's always good to have hardware with your AI projects.
And a whole bunch of PyPortal projects have been coming in. This is one from our learning system. This is Word of the Day. This is an International Space Station Tracker. This one was...
This is a Twitter API, actually.
This is a Twitter API one, and this one, I think folks were working at it from PyCon.
Yep, this is a Sprints project.
This is Tides.
Tides. And then this is like nice graphical tides. I think this is the
Yeah.
Admiralty. So this is like the UK tides update.
This uses the Strava API, and then I think like Google Sheets, and then eventually it gets to the PyPortal. So it's kind of neat to see everyone doing some pretty advanced projects with a low-cost IoT screen and using Python. This is a camera switcher. And,
Like the green arrow tells you, this is the
in
thing.
case you're wondering,
What is it?
what's that thing?
It's this
Oh,
thing.
It's this thing. This is a project in the works. Arturo's working on this. This is a feather wing, and it's also a feather. And
It's like it
a
uses
handheld.
yeah, it uses the BlackBerry keyboard, so it's a faux berry, so it's like a fake
Yeah.
CircuitPython running BlackBerry type thing.
And we just kind of report on this because it's one of those things that we just hear about. There's more information and some sneak peeks of the next version of the TI-83. Right now it runs CircuitPython, and there's another version coming out which looks like it's going to be called TI-Python. So we posted up about that. I think it's a variant of CircuitPython. Over on CrowdSupply, the board...
Teeny Pico,
yeah, the
running
Teeny-
MicroPython,
Yeah,
ESP32.
That one just...
Check it out.
hit
Just
the CrowdSupply
launched.
pages. And then we covered some Python news. This person interviewed you. This is
Tifer.
Guido on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so they talked about Python, and then what's funny is that like a week later,
You
same
were on... Yeah.
same podcast interviewed me.
And we also got a pull request from the creator of Python about fixing an issue with idle, one of the
Editors, yeah.
editors. And then you were on the Cube from the Red Hat Summit talking about
That
CircuitPython.
cube. It's the blue cube. Yeah, me and Saloni were the winners
Yeah.
of Red Hat. Check out the video. It was fun. We were there for 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
I got called a young lady.
Yep. There's the Circuit Python hands-on workshop at IoT Makers Israel. It's tomorrow.
Yep, and we sent them some hardware.
And then in New York City, Circuit Playground of Beginners workshop on electronics and coding, Sunday, May 19th, and Sunday, June 1st. It's at Makerspace NYC. FutureWorks Makerspace at Brooklyn Army Terminal. We're up to 155 libraries. All of this stuff and more is in awesome-circuit Python. You can find that on GitHub. You can also just go to circuitpython.org. That is the news for CircuitPython hardware this week.
Python hardware. Thank you, Blinka.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Yeah. Time travel. I got some news.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Time travel. There's a little bit of time left. If you want, Hackster said, hey, we want to get more people to know about this thing. Can we give away a bunch of Adafruit gift certificates? And we said, sure, because that's easy for us. So it's the 2019 Co-Making the Future, the China USA Young Maker Competition. Apparently, all you have to do is enter and register.
And there's
you
10
win.
gift certificates.
Yeah, and you might win. So check that out on Hackster.io.
Free hardware. Free
Yep.
hardware.
On
And you can use it to buy
jobs.
Prime Money stuff too.
On jobs.adafruit.com, a few jobs that we're featuring. This is a free jobs board for makers and also for employers who want to find cool makers. Gyroscopic sensor for performance. This is in Philadelphia. I think it's also remote. The CT and Makerspace teacher, Capital City Public Charter School.
In DC.
And the exhibition product manager. This is from Micro. But Paul, while you're here, are y'all looking for anyone to join Pymaroni? You're looking for any people who want to?
Game designers. No, just kidding.
Yeah, at
Have
the
you designed
moment.
a gaming hardware?
Yeah.
I think, our last one is going to be an intern doing, paid intern doing coding with Phil. Because
Okay.
Phil is looking increasingly ragged, being the only software manager
Okay.
of all of our code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So if someone likes this stuff and they're it would be probably on site in the UK, right?
In the UK.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to Pymaroni and hit the contact form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You could make first off, you're going to get the access to the coolest first alpha hardware. So that's definitely a plus. Plus you get paid. Plus you get to hang out with the pirates.
Yeah.
Yar.
All right.
And they got good food.
Next up,
It's okay, yeah. Sheffield's not doing bad.
we're an open source hardware company. You know how now, Lady Ada?
Because
you got
I don't want.
because you got out of war for it. That's the only reason. Woo! Yay! So
That's
we
how,
took.
how do I know it's an entrepreneur? 'Cause
So-
it's an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
What is it? They got the little little sparkles.
Red Hat shipped this out to us after the event, and I took photos right away because it was totally gonna break, and we'll just look at the digital versions of it one day.
That's fine.
But that's how you know you're an open source hardware company. No, the real reason you know is we have 1,857 guides.
Yes.
All right,
So many guys this week. We had a ton of guys. I'll go through them real fast.
Yeah, maybe I'll be risky and I'll send it over to that screen.
Do you want to send that screen and then you can do other stuff?
Well, no, I just want it.
It's just easier so I can see it now because there's so many guys. Okay, we have from Mike Barella then using the microbit in Cricut with MicroPython. Go to the library code. So if you have a microbit and you don't want to use MakeCode, it works with MakeCode, but maybe you want to use MicroPython instead. You can do that now. Make your robotics projects and all that good stuff with Cricut. The Archimedes boat by Dana, we have a little video we'll pop over to. It's another boat made from a milk carton, but this time it uses two servos with an Archimedes screw that you build with hot glue and a stir stick. This was kind of just like, it was supposed to be a different project, but turned into this project and actually came out really well. It spins around and it uses a propulsion method. You got the Papercraft Crystal Gem Lanterns from Erin. She's been showing these off. Amazing. They look just like jewels, and they use a really cool proprietary but now completely open source technique of laminating, crinkling and then laminating these wrapper sheets, and then you cut them and you glue them together
We'll
and
show a
make these
longer
gems.
video in a minute.
We'll show the video for that soon. We've got the Pi Badge case. We'll show the 3D printed Pi Badge case video shortly. It's SnapFit case. We've got a great video from Kevin Walters all about Circuit Playground Express with USB MIDI and CircuitPython. He wrote a USB MIDI library, so you can interface it with iPads or computers that have MIDI going on, as well as an actual synthesizer. It actually plugs into one of his synths to get it running if it has a MIDI control. And we've also got some product guides, the Hazal32 ESP32 breakout board. We had this out like a month or two ago, but I finally wrote up a guide in case you're wondering what all the pins are. Check it out. It's kind of a small ESP32 breakout that you can use for embedding in projects. Also the Metro M4 Express Airlift, if you want to use it with Arduino or CircuitPython and has built-in Wi-Fi. It's super fun. We have some projects coming out already that use this all-in-one board to make internet-connected products. The guide that goes for the CircuitPython libraries on Linux and Google Coral, as I just mentioned, we've got that going with digital, I2C, PWM, SPI, and UART, and we go through everything, including how to set it up and log in and activate all these things, install the software so you can use all of our drivers with it. We've got from Dan C an e-paper calendar that uses that Metro M4 Airlift and our new tricolor e-paper shield. So this actually goes on the internet to get the current time. And the cool thing is it gets like the time even no matter if it's like daylight savings or whatever, and it displays the time and the date in 4 different beautiful calendar modes. He's really into calendars. And then from last week, we had the MakeCode Arcade platform level design, the heat set inset rig for people who are doing a lot of 3D printing, and then how to do pixel animations in MakeCode to make your sprites even more joyful. Look at how happy Ruby is there. Hey, hello, just walking around, my little legs, one shorter than the other.
All right, and then we have an extended version of the growing crystal silver.
Okay, make your own crystals with Aaron.
Okie dokie, we have some New York City Factory footage. Take it away, Adafruit Factory. And of course, it would not be New York City without the
Beautiful sunset.
sunrise or sunset.
You can see like the new Google building is being built.
Yeah.
They're tearing stuff down. They're going to build this new building.
Okie dokie, 3D printing. As we alluded to in the beginning of the show, Noah and Pedro have a
Pi badge,
Pi badge
3D
and
printed
then
case.
also the lightsaber thing. So we're going to do them back to back.
Okay. Extrude away.
Hey, what's up, folks? In this project, we're making a case for the Adafruit Pi badge. This 3D printed case is designed for a lanyard, so you can use it as a conference badge. All you need is a LiPo battery and a mini speaker to get this going. Links are in the description. The case is 3D printed in translucent PLA and doesn't require any support material. connect the speaker and battery, there's a dedicated spot for them on the back of the PCB. A little actuator fits inside the case so you can easily trigger the reset button. The PCB press fits nicely and doesn't require any hardware screws. The top cover features cutouts for the display and all the buttons. Use the stemma connectors on the bottom for sensors and accessories. The actuator on the back is concave to prevent accidentally hitting the reset button. On-off switch and USB port are accessible on the top. MakeCode Arcade is a block-based editor for programming your own games. It's designed for beginners and features tutorials so you can customize them or build your own. The built-in tools like the sprite editor allows you to easily create assets and animations. The Adafruit Pi badge pairs with MakeCode so you can program and upload your games over USB. With MakeCode Arcade, you can build platformer, side-scroller shooters, and puzzle-type games. We think this makes getting started with game development more fun and accessible. It's easy to clip your favorite lanyard to turn this into a wearable badge. So get ready to hack your Pi badge at the next con.
Okie dokie. Don't forget 3D Hangouts every Wednesday with Noah and Pedro. 88, it's almost time. But
It's done.
before we get on to new products, it's Welcome Pi Maroni. You don't have to use capital letters. I just did that. Make it more readable. But it's Welcome Pi Maroni, 10% in the Adafruit store, all the way up until midnight or when I remember to turn off the code. Lamar, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this.
New, 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 new.
That's good.
We get
Okay.
the new going.
What's new this week?
Okay, we've got some wires. Yeah, these wires are connected to a sensor. This is, people really like these sintered sensors. They're good for outdoor environmental sensing. It's a temperature humidity sensor. This one has an SHT30 in it, which is nice. It's a true I2C sensor. I'll show this off on the overhead because it has this sintered metal casing which protects it from water. Like air can get through it, but you're not going to be able to get water through it, which is kind of nice. So you can actually even dunk this underwater if you have to, not for long periods of time, but it can be exposed. And then this is the sensor here, and you can see it's epoxied, and there's like a teeny little dot here. You can barely see where the sensor is. And then it just has the power and data lines brought out so that you can connect to them. And so we just have more of these environmental sensors. People like them. Next up, these are some buttons, and it's really hard to explain these buttons. It's a little frustrating because they're very, very nice, but you can't tell because it's a photo and it's something that's very tactile. So these tactile switches are just like normal tactile switches, a 6mm standard tact switches that you're used to, but the top button part is made out of soft silicone. So they have this really nice, soft, squishy feeling, but they also have the clicky, tactile button. So yeah, here, you try it and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
But yeah, you feel that? It's soft. Is that nice?
Just a little bit different.
It's just a little different. It's kind of soft. It feels a little bit like those touch point mice, but it's a little
We've
squishy.
replaced Paul's regular buttons with these special soft clickier buttons. Let's see if he notices.
It is nice though.
Silky on my skin.
It's silky. It's soft. It's a lovely button. It's hard to explain, but just believe me, it's very soft and it's got a nice grippy feel to it. So it's a nice upgrade. We have the surface mount version in the Pi badge. So if you have a Pi badge and you're like, how did you get that nice soft button feeling. I've actually never seen these in the U.S. before, but we were buying some other buttons, and I was like, what are these? In the catalog, and I picked them up, and I'm like, these are amazing. So this is a translucent clear, and you get 20 of them. They're just really luxurious. Aren't they luxurious?
Yeah, you can hardly see the dent in the end of my fingers.
I know.
Normally that's like a millimeter deep
I
from
know,
normal
because from
tech
the
switches.
no, but it's soft.
Okay.
Next up, we have some sci-fi buttons. These are 1960s style sci-fi control panel buttons. That's where we've seen buttons like this before, and they're triangular, but like, why call them triangular when you can call them something else? And these are basically like panel mount buttons, and we have these in like round and square, but now we have them in triangle. And you can take 6 of these and make them into a hexagon, which is even better. But they look cool. They have an LED built into them. They use, they're basically standard arcade type buttons. They have the arcade contacts. I'll show off a couple of these on the overhead because they look cool when lit up. I will say that the LEDs that they come with, they're 12 volt LEDs. They're not diffused, and I recommend getting a diffused LED and replacing it. That's the only downside to these, is they don't have a really good even diffusion. Like they have a little bit of a hot spot, and I feel like if you got a diffused LED, it would be more diffused. So this is white. But yeah, the switch and the button are separate. So this is the switch contacts, and these are the LED contacts. And then they've got this round thing here that you can panel mount it onto whatever you want, like almost like an inch thick. So if you have wood, that's fine, plastic. And then let's try this blue one. Did I get it backwards? I got it backwards. Let's try it frontwards. Yeah, so this is blue. So again, it has a white LED, and I would recommend replacing that with the diffused LED. You'll get a much more even illumination for this button. But again, we've got red, and we've got green and yellow. So we've got all the different colors in sci-fi triangle style. Make your control panel look real good.
Okay. Next up.
We've got some JST SH cables. These are quick compatible. So if you have SparkFun boards that have quick, or other boards that have a quick connector, we actually really like these contacts. They're only 1 millimeter pitch, but they feel really great. So we have them in plug to plain 0.1 inch male headers, and we also have a cable that's cable to cable JST SH. So they're 1 millimeter pitch, and the colors match like the standard quick coloring, which is black for ground, red for power, and then I think data is yellow and clock is blue, or maybe it's the other way around. But you can daisy chain quick boards, and if you want to connect them to a breadboard, you can use the first cable for that.
Okay.
Slide pots, you've asked for them, we got them. This is a 75 millimeter slide pot, and we got them with a little nub on them. Also, nice silicone nub here. Feel that nub. What do you think about that nub?
Good nub.
Nice, good nubbins. He agrees. Sorry, it feels like trying to figure out where I'm going.
100% of Paul's agree.
And it's got a little white marking too. So this, if you want to panel mount this as well, that could be really nice. There's a little panel mount screw here, but I think you would maybe glue it or attach to a PCB that's then attached on. But there's a little nub that comes on it, and it's press fit, and I don't want to remove it because this will fly off. And it's got like a little velveteen protector here, and it's a standard 10K linear. I think this is the pin 1 is one side, then pin 3 is the other side, and then 2 is the wiper. So you use this as a divider or a variable resistor, and it's got that slide action. You want to sliders. You see these in mixers. It's also great for like robotic control, and they're a little bit easier to see where you are compared to rotational ones. Like sometimes with rotation it's hard. For me at least, I don't map very well from rotation to percentage. But with this, it's like, oh, that's halfway and that's 3/4. It's a lot easier for me to see, and for some people, it's easier to move as well. So I have side pots. People have asked for them. Now we have them.
Next up.
We have now a combo kit. A few weeks ago, we put in the 4-H clover kit if you'd like to grow your own clovers. And this is what you get. You get a circuit playground, a battery pack with batteries, a nail. It's a nice stainless steel nail, one alligator clip that's in 4H green, and a clover kit. So you can plant your clovers and then turn this into a STEM educational activity where not only are you planting clovers, but you're measuring the temperature and soil moisture using the Circuit Playground Express, and we've got some guides on how to do that. So you can take, if you have a 4-H club and you want to get to some STEM activities, It's an agricultural group that we have here in the U.S.
Okay.
This could be a nice way of planting something and then also learning how to code with MakeCode or CircuitPython.
Next up.
Next up, flexible e-ink. And some nice nails too. Look at these nice. It's a nice.
Well, thank you. I had them done just for this
I
video.
look at those jewels. So this is a flexible e-ink. I'll give some warnings. So this is a very cool product. It's a flexible e-ink display, and I do have one here, and you can see it's very thin. It's another thing. It's not just flexible; it's extremely thin. So if you want to have e-ink that is a little, you can bend it around something. I'll say something. These are delicate. You have to be very careful with them. Even though that video, by the way, that video, it's an animated GIF and it's repeating. So don't actually do that. Don't sit there and like constantly flex it because you can get cracks. Also, don't flex it while it's updating because you'll actually get weird pixels. So you can bend it after it's been updated. So you can see like this. I have a little microcontroller over here that's actually doing the updating. But we have code for this. Graphics code, so you can display from a bitmap, you can display text, you can display lines and stuff. And yeah, you can flex it. I'm going to remove it from this little extender so it doesn't update for sure. But yeah, you can bend it a bit. And yeah, I just want to be like super clear to people. I think you can make this into like a bracelet. You can't bend it, and if you crack it, if you bend it enough that it forms a crease, you'll get a crack.
This is not a Galaxy Fold.
This is not a Galaxy
even
Fold.
A Galaxy Fold.
Even then, it wasn't a Galaxy Fold. So you do have to be careful. It's very cool. It does work. It is flexible. I think what you could do is if you have like a 3D, you want to make a bracelet, you could, or a watch, you could 3D print it and then put it in and then keep it that way, like it stays in that position. I wouldn't put it into a project where it's constantly being flexed because I think eventually you'll get cracks and you'll be sad. And also just be careful over here. This is the chip, so you don't want to crack it. Also, it doesn't bend this way. It only bends this way. So as long as everyone who's getting these is aware of the, what the limitations are, it is a flexible ink display and it is at a very reasonable price. You can now get these and use them in hobbyist projects.
Okay. And the star of the show tonight, besides Paul, Lady Ada, and our community, is, speaking of crowd supply, this
is a crowd supply product. This is the NETV2 from Bunny. I wish I knew enough about it to really intelligently talk about it, but basically it's a Raspberry Pi computer that has an FPGA add-on hat that does HDMI overlay and possible, it's not decoding, it encodes on top of a stream. So even if you have an HDMI stream, especially if it's an encrypted stream, and you want to have overlay, like either a bar at the bottom or an advertisement or interactive art or whatever that is on top of the HDMI, you're not reading the HDMI signal, you're just writing over it. This is an exciting and interesting technological and legal product that can do that.
Yeah, basically, if you like the idea of open video, being able to do more things on the TVs, one of the, I think, example projects that will probably make more sense is Magic Mirrors. You can play a video on the Magic Mirror, but then also put like your weather data on top of it.
Correct.
But it's whatever you want to do.
Or if you want like a bar at the bottom that has information, like maybe it's displaying
could be
TV,
Twitter feeds.
It have feeds, or it can have chats that are happening in the background. So these are some of the projects that I've done. So basically, if that's what you want, this is the product for you. And this is kind of the only product that does it. And it's totally open source. Bunny's done an amazing job. The NETV1, it's a couple of years old. We're still going to carry a couple of them, but if for people who want to take it to the next level, this is very fast FPGA. It's also like if you just want to do FPGA hacking and you have a Raspberry Pi for Linux as subsystem, that's also a great product. I mean, you don't have to use it for video. It is designed for that. But it is also a very powerful, well-designed
It's from Bunny.
platform.
Basically, it's like a super cool Linux computer that probably breaks laws that people don't even know yet.
That we don't even, or maybe it doesn't. Who knows? We'll go to court.
But this is the thing, it's it can overlay on the HDCP stuff without
That's
decoding
correct.
it or
It
touching
doesn't
it, which
decode
is
it. It overwrites it.
Yeah.
Which is,
maths.
and he was kind of like, it's basically maths. And he was like, okay, I want to see if this goes to court, but it hasn't been.
I tried to write about this and do an analogy, and I actually stopped. Because I couldn't, it's like if you were to send a letter through the postal system and you were able to open up the letter
But you're not reading it, but you're replacing it.
but putting something in and they still get it.
It's like a carbon
and they still
copy
get
and you rub over it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
it's a really neat thing that you'd think that you think a TV that you own, you'd be able to put something on top of the TV signal. No.
No,
Wait.
the HTPC, yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't, and this can actually do that.
Right.
Okay, and with that is new products.
Thank you, everybody.
You want to do a recap?
New. Yep.
Okay, what's the recap?
Super speed recap. We've got a new sintered weatherproof humidity temperature sensor, this time with the SHT30, which is a nice sensor. And as true I2C, we've got these silicone topped tactile buttons. There's like standard 6mm tactile buttons, but they've got soft, squishy silicone actuators. Very nice. We've got a whole plethora of sci-fi 1960s control panel displays. If you watch like old sci-fi movies and they always have triangles, these are arcade buttons with LEDs inside of them, so they're illuminated, and they're also, of course, buttons that you can press for arcades or control panels. We've got two quick cables. One is a quick Joystick SH 1mm pitch cable to header, and one is just SH to SH, so you can daisy chain quick boards. Got a 75mm long slide potentiometer, and it comes with this rubber nub, and all Pomeronis agree it's a good nubbins. Thank you. We also have the 4-H Clover kit. It's a STEM kit for 4-H kids particularly, but you don't have to be in 4-H if you just want to grow a plant and then measure the temperature, light, and soil moisture. It's a great project to learn how to grow plants and also how to do techno-agriculture. We've got flexible e-ink displays, a 2.13-inch monochrome e-ink display. It's flexible. It works great with all of our e-ink boards. Just be aware you can't flex it forever, but it is very skinny, and you could probably make a cool watch or wearable out of it. And the star of the show is the ATV2 from Bunny and Crowd Supply. It's a Raspberry Pi Linux board with an add-on FPGA that can do HDMI overlaying, even over encrypted signals. It's also a great FPGA hacking board if you would like to do video and Linux and programming, and Bunny makes amazing hardware, and pick one of these up, because this is kind of one of the only things that does this particular thing it does.
All right.
And now it's new products.
Okay, you have some top secret.
I do.
Yeah, so we got two things
What's first up?
from the vault.
From the vault.
Okay, well, first up, this was a request. We just finally got to it. It's a circuit
Proto-gizmo.
playground proto-gizmo, so it plugs into a circuit.
Playground, and it's going to use those really cool surface mount M3 screws that you can physically attach it, and also is an electronic attachment, so that's how the signals get in.
And speaking of game playing devices, look at this.
Yeah,
Where did
we've
this
got
come from?
coming soon. We just made these today. This is how it goes. This is the Pi Gamer, and right now it's running a MakeCode arcade game, and it's got speaker and battery, and it's a Feather compatible. It's kind of loud. It's got headphones and SD card and stemma connectors, and if you like the Pi badge and you're like, wow, I wish it had an analog stick, and I wish it had a really cool laser cut case and maybe headphone jack and more stuff, this is kind of a nice upgrade to the Pi badge, but designed specifically for gaming. And of course it runs MakeCode. Okay, so it runs MakeCode Arcade really well, and also we're working on some CircuitPython support, and it runs some emulators and all sorts of good stuff. So stay tuned for more gaming fun here and on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Sweet Silk.
Yeah, this is it's very Jarvis looking.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do some questions, then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, get into the Discords, get your questions.
Go to adafruit.it/discord, ask your questions, we will answer them, and then we'll do a giveaway at the end. Let's see. Okay, ultrasonic, good accuracy. Any recommendations on which?
The US 100s are great, all the ultrasonics we got, and then the time of flight sensors are more expensive, but we'll get you even more accuracy.
Okay. Are there going to be games on launch for the 32-bit?
We'll have some of our own in there, yep. Have tutorials behind them, and then there might be a couple from the community as well. No emulation or anything, it's more about homebrew.
Got it. Pimeroni, would you be willing to assist with the pirate translations for Circuit Python? No, we have.
Yeah.
We have pirate.
Well, you have different languages, so the error messages are all in pirate.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, yar.
Yeah.
Yar.
Why you be doing that?
All right.
You are fun at parties.
Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna start to do the giveaway stuff, so we
Okay.
can get out of here. If there's
Yeah.
more questions, we got the questions during the show.
I know, we got so many. We did a lot.
So, what do you want to give away this?
I thought I would give away one of the Circuit Playground 4-H kits.
Circuit Playground for each kid. Okay.
Yeah, because that's good. Everyone likes plants. Right? You like plants. Everyone likes
Yeah.
We
plants.
need plans.
Plants are good.
Okay. All right. What are the rules for the trivia question?
Rules are if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. The winner's going to win this 4-H Circuit Playground Express kit, which has Circuit Playground Express and all these other goodies, and a Clover kit. So great for kids or adults to play together. The first person to call the phone number when it appears on the screen and answers the magical questions win the fabulous prize. The magical questions are, what's your name and where you're calling from? That's it. If you can answer those two questions,
So you have to.
you got the prize. And then I'm going to ask you a bonus question. What's the project you're working on or you want to work on?
Yeah.
So call this number. You can call internationally too. You don't have to be in the U.S.
Yeah, we've done that.
We've done that. We sent one to, I think, New Zealand once.
Yeah, we've
Canada
sent-
a couple
we've sent
times.
everything everywhere.
Call this number.
Yeah, I'm putting in the chat.
So the swarm robots, you could do like in real life Tetris with them.
Yes,
That'd
but
be-
like one
yeah.
Tetris at a time.
Yeah.
One tetra. Oh! The phone is ringing. Look. Okay, I'm gonna pick it up. Ahoy, ahoy!
Hi,
Hello, congratulations. You've managed to call that number. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yakim. I'm calling from New York.
Hi, I came from New York. Well, that's really,
Hi.
that's really close. Hi, I'm waving. Can you see me? So
Yeah.
a little creepy. So
Well,
congratulations.
it's a little laid back. It's a little slow.
Okay, we're chill. Congratulations. You're the winner of a fabulous product, which is product number.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I don't know what the number.
4241.
4241. We get a Circuit Playground Express and a Clover kit. Everything you see here. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT @adafruit.com, and say, hey, it's Akeem from New York, and they will send that out to you. So,
Okay.
while you're going to do that, why don't you tell us the project you're working on or you want to work on?
I'm trying to work on a water bottle that measures the amount of water and sends that information to your application so you know how much water you drink for the day.
Amazing. Well, this is a great product to send you because it's a soil sensor. It's basically that exact project, but for plants. So maybe,
It's for a bottle, yeah.
yeah, so you can get together with your plants and know how much water you drank. So congratulations, Akeem. Oh, don't forget to email support@adafruit.com to win your fabulous prize, and have a wonderful night.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So
Bye.
you're laid back. Okay, bye. Very chill.
All right.
Thank you, Akeem, for being so chill.
Okay. Let me make sure I got the rest of the questions. Let's see.
Any more questions?
Yes, got it. And is there a discount code tonight? Yes, someone can post it up. It is Welcome Pimeroni. And then will Node MCU be supported for CircuitPython, or will I need to use MicroPython?
We no longer support it as a 4.0 because it was
Yeah.
not an amazingly great experience. So MicroPython will give you a much better experience with those boards.
All right. And I think that's the questions for tonight. Thank you much for being out here and seeing us.
It's always good.
Another
Yay.
year.
Another 2 years.
Yeah.
Every Maker Fair Bay Area you swing
Yeah.
by. And we get some.
And you arrive in the Bay Area like Friday or Saturday?
No, Thursday.
Thursday,
I've got
okay.
9
Tomorrow.
o'clock flight tomorrow from Newark.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be there. They can find you at the DigiKey booth.
Yep. Or just walking around looking like a pirate.
Look like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
A custom random pirate is probably
Are there going to
me.
be other Pimeroni folks there?
No, just me
Just
this
you?
year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do folks have to look forward to the Kickstarter? And what else is happening?
Oh, loads more sensors. We've got a square version of the Hyperpixel coming out, 720 by 720, 4 inches. That's going to be super cool.
Okay.
That's probably a month or two away. Yeah, just loads of stuff as normal.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
best place is like go to the website, Twitter.
Twitter always, we do
That's where-
Twitter very well.
Kickstarter.com, the URL, somebody probably make sure paste it. Go
Okay.
check out the 32-bit. If you, especially people who are watching who are have hardware expertise, you might want to be a beta tester.
Yep.
Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, I want to get more final hardware. Either way.
I think if you're doing kind of web dev in your day job and you want to get away from it, yeah.
We'll do one last question. Have you found an optical scope that you like yet? Yeah.
Oh, I don't use the optical scope so much. I just squint.
Yeah, you just
Just
try it.
do.
Yeah, I just lift the glasses up.
Yeah.
And poke and prod. All right, thanks people for pasting some links
Yep.
in the chat.
That is a show tonight.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back here next week, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Thanks. Let me check the.
Let's
Adafruit
play some. We're
chat
gonna play
real
some
quick.
game. Yay!
Yeah.
Bleepy bloopy.
Let's see. Thank you, Jessie May, for
Thanks, Jessie May.
running the things behind the scenes here in the Adafruit Slack. Thank you, all the remote team members from Adafruit, all the community helpers in Discord, all the Adafruit employees, and please send our regards to everyone else on the team.
Hugs all around.
It's always good to look across the pond and see someone who's kind of like us.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, kind of like us.
But over there,
Yeah.
also dealing with politics.
Yeah. Well, the best thing I think we could do is be good to each other and keep shipping hardware.
Yay!
Yep.
I think that's our jobs.
That's what I'm doing.
That's all we're going to keep doing.
I'm gonna go eat some food too.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
See you next
everybody.
week. Here is your moment of Zener.
Bye.